Hey guys, it's A-Dogs and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be doing my new iteration of the Zorga deck profile post the Festival Collection 2022. So we'll go straight into the ride line. So we have the generic starter, the Rainfall Chain for the grade 1, the Tier Husk Dragon for the grade 2, and the Zorga for the grade 3. Alright, so going straight into the grade 3s, we run 4 grade equals Zorga. So its skill is continuous on the Vanguard circle. If you did Aggro Magic this turn, all your front row units get power +5, and then its second skill, Active Ability, costs once per turn, Soul Blast 1, you discard a card from your hand, choose a normal order from your drop and put it into your hand. Until the end of turn, when you play a normal order, you can bind a normal order with a different card name from your drop and Aggro Magic. Next we have 4 Roaming Prison Dragon. So this is pretty much the card that helps us win games. We obviously have other cards that can clutch the game for us as well, but this is the most important one. So its skill is on drop auto. When you play a normal order, you may call this card to Vanguard circle. If you called this card, perform one of the following. But if it was part of Aggro Magic, you can perform both of them instead. So the first skill is you can give plus 10k to an turn, or the second skill is that you can give it a crit +1 until the end of turn. Alright, so going straight into the grade 2s, we run 4 Shadow Cloak. So the Shadow Cloak skill is, when this unit is placed in Vanguard circle from hand, search your deck up to 1 order card and reveal it. And if your drop does not have a card with the same card name as a card, discard the revealed card and shuffle your deck. Then its second skill is when you play an order, you can Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets power +5 until the end of turn. But if it was part of Aggro Magic, choose one of your other regards and return it to hand. So the cards you mainly want to return back to a hand is, first of all, a new card that I will be showing next after I explain this card. We also use it to bounce triggers, PGs, and Persona Ride targets. Speaking of the new grade 2, we run 3 Inheritance of Maiden Kendrina. So yes, this is an old card from DBT01. It has 2 skills. So its first skill is when this unit is placed on a Vanguard circle, you may discard 3 cards on top of your deck. But that second skill is act on a Vanguard circle. We can try this unit, and then until the end of the turn, the next time you would Aggro Magic in order and play it, you may choose not to play all that card's Soul Blast. So the reason why we run Hendrina in this deck is that we want to mill as fast as possible to see our dragons. And C does help with the strategy by milling 3. Next, for the grade 1s, we have 2 Lady Demolish. So her skill is when the attack this unit boosted hits a Vanguard, you may discard 5 cards on top of your deck. So this one allows us to potentially mill 5 instead of 3 like Kendrina. If it hits, that is the only downside. But we can put it behind the Rainfall Chain going second if we do get hurt. We move behind the Tier Husk, and if it does hit, we can mill 5 cards, which gets us much closer potentially getting our dragons. Next, we run 4 Perfect Guards. Perfect Guards are self-explanatory. They require us less cards to guard big attacks. Alright, next we'll go into the orders. So we run 4 Clouded Miasma. So its skill is pay this with cost counter +1. When a grade 3, choose a grade 3 or less card from your drop and call it to the Vanguard circle. If this is part of Aggro Magic, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets continuous ability of all your front units get power +5k until the end of the turn. So this allows us to call boosters for our dragons, or we can also use it to call target for a Shadow Cloak to bounce back to hand. Also be able to give it +5k power until the end of the turn for our front row is also a nice addition too. Next we run 3 Wild Intelligence. So its skill is cost Counterblast 1, discard 3 cards on top of your deck, choose up to 1 card with the same grade as your Vanguard or lower from your drop, and you may call it the Vanguard circle. If your Vanguard is Silver Horn Beast Magnolia, choose up 2 cards instead of 1. So this card is in here to again to mill more to get closer to our dragons as well. And so the dragons is the main focus of this deck. We want to get dragons as quick as possible. If you use Wild Intelligence in combination with Hendrina, it's mill 6. But if you call Hendrina first, mill 3, sack her, use Intelligence to call Hendrina back, we've milled 9 cards instead, which hopefully would have at least gotten us at least a dragon in the drop. But again, if we already have dragons in our hand, we don't have to worry about doing this combo. But the combo is still very valid to do if we need to get more orders in our drop so we can continuously Apple Magic. Next, we run 2 Tearful Malice. So Tearful Malice skill is you pay this with cost of retiring 2 regards. If you draw a card, put this card into your soul and countercharge once. So this card gives us resources, which is good. We can sack our dragons to bring them back up. That's the main thing of this deck. We want to always be recruiting our dragons that have both their abilities. Tearful Malice works very well in conjunction with Miasma, as again, if we have a Cloak on the field, Malice will kill the dragons will come back, and then Miasma can call one of the 3 different cards we might want. Again, maybe, or 4 cards technically, maybe we want like a booster, so we might not want to use Shadow Cloak, but then maybe we want a PG, a Trigger, or a Persona Ride, which Shadow Cloak can bounce back to our hand for a Soul Blast. And then lastly, for our orders, we run 1 In Search of an Idol Far Away. So its skill is to choose one of your units, and until the end of the turn, it gets Auto, Vanguard, and Regal Circle. When your other unit attacks, this unit gets power +5 until the end of the turn. So you ideally want to give this to a booster, and the booster gets 5 key power each time a Reguard attacks. So if you have a full front row, when you attack with your Reguard, your Vanguard and Reguard, or Vanguard and both Reguards, it will see the trigger of all the 3 attacks, and it'll become a 15k booster. So yes, everyone is boosting the attacking unit, because it's another unit, it'll still get that power and it'll still see the power boost. The second thing we also use this card for is now, since we're trying to aggro, what it does is, if we're going second and we use Rank or Chain, when we draw 2 cards for Rank or Chain and discard 2, if we have this card and 2 dragons in our hand, what we can do is we can use Rank or Chain to discard the dragons, and then use In Search of Ideal Far Away to call the dragons back, so then we can aggro straight from grade 1 all the way up to grade 3. Now, if we do have a Tearful Malice, we can sack the dragons and bring that with their skills as well. Lastly, into the triggers, we run 8 crits. Crits from here because if we can get the opponent on high damage quick enough, our dragons start becoming very lethal. We run 3 fronts. These are the extra 5k shield fronts. They're good for guarding big attacks that are under 33. It is also very good for making our dragons bigger, as getting 1 front means we have to delegate power. Both the dragons get the power, and on a 2 to pass, if we build the front first, if we get another trigger, we can get it straight to the Vanguard because it already has gotten power from the front. Next, we run 1 over trigger because over triggers are busted, and then we run a 2-2 split for heal triggers. So we run 2 of the little heals, and then we run 2 Alchemist Hedgehog. So when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's crit is 2 or greater, and its crit is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original crit is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15k shield until the end of battle. So a lot of the decks in the meta seem to now have a way of forming an extra crit, more than with Reguards having the ability to restand. So this is a bit of a meta choice, but I think this might be the correct choice. I definitely implore for you guys to try it out. If you don't like this heal, you can go back to the vanilla heals. But if for some reason maybe your local meta does use a lot of decks that have restanding Reguards, then maybe you should try the other heal instead. But with all that is now the end of my deck profile. I do hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so when I upload the next video, you'll be notified. Alright, thanks for that. Head over there.